So for a lot of you, it's summer vacation and you're looking for a new game to play, and if you're on this channel, you might be into FPS games. So you might be wondering, is it worth picking up that new-fangled Call of Duty game Black Ops 4? Now if you're curious about the Battle Royale mode or the Zombies mode, look up individual reviews for those, and those reviews won't be on this channel because I don't play them and I can't be bothered to play them. Today we're focusing on the multiplayer, something that a lot of you probably enjoyed over the years, Call of Duty's multiplayer. Whether you stopped at Black Ops 2 or you're just still playing COD World War II, is Black Ops 4 worth upgrading to? Is it even an upgrade? Now, Activision and Treyarch, the publisher and developer of this game, they've just made really bad decisions. Whether it comes to the balance of the multiplayer or the release of post-launch content, they've unfortunately dropped the ball in a lot of areas. Lots of contradictory game design that counter a lot of the reasons you might be into Call of Duty. For instance, a slightly longer time to kill, except for sniper rifles and shotguns, which will still kill you as if you're playing something equivalent to Call of Duty Ghosts or Black Ops 2. Meaning your assault rifle will take an extra bullet, but somebody coming around the corner with buckshot will still drop you faster than you can react. Snipers are still going to one-shot you from across the map, pretty much absolutely no problem, but they're still going to take an extra 2 bullets from you at longer ranges if you're using an AR the way you would usually use an AR in Call of Duty. All of the standard game modes give you specialist abilities and equipment, which will allow you to take out your opponents without giving them the chance to fight back most of the time. Whether they change your score streak to their side with a hacking tablet from the safety of their spawn, whether they gravity slam you in a room and end everything you've been working towards, streak-wise or happiness-wise. And the list goes on and on. I've made videos about why these are bad. The specialist abilities counter why people play Call of Duty, which is to try to get better at staying alive and getting more kills than deaths, and then the specialist weapons exist to just ruin your day. Just completely. It makes the game feel more like a hectic, dumb back and forth game instead of something where you can actually slow down and control your engagements and, you know, get a grip on your destiny, if you will, if you're half decent at the game, because everything's in flux. You don't know if you're going to live because the enemy coming around the corner might have a shotgun, which is like a practical way to eliminate somebody in a blink of an eye, or they might have a gravity slam, which is a good way to take out the entire room in about a blink of an eye. There's some fundamental imbalances there. If you thought you could just buy this game and, you know, grind and do well, it's probably not going to happen. You're going to load into a domination match and you're going to die by about 7 things in a row. This is about every match for me. I usually have 7 deaths in a row every match where it just chains. Like, it's when everyone starts getting their specialist weapons and abilities, and if they know how to use them, you're gonna get caught on fire, blown up, electrocuted, one-shotted, and it's gonna be miserable. So letting you know now that if you try to go into this game to get better and then earn streaks and do well that way, don't hold your breath. And then when it comes to micro DLC and post-launch content, that's also pretty terrible. You see, if you want new maps, you need to buy the Black Ops Pass or have a friend that you can play with that has the Black Ops Pass, but most of the maps that they release are pretty terrible. Lobbies empty out when they're chosen because nobody wants to play on them. They're either too big or too weird, and the layouts are very strange and hard to learn. I'll just tell you, most people don't like most of them. And the fact that they are going to cost you or your friends money is pretty embarrassing, seeing how most other shooters have moved away from the Season Pass, and this game will still cost you $60 new, maybe $40 on sale. The Season Pass is, of course, $50. When it comes to earning new weapons, if you were to buy the game now, you would have to get just about all of them out of supply drops. Or in this game, they are called reserves. And these reserves are, well, terrible. You see, reserve cases only give you 1 item. And this includes stickers and gun charms, camos, death effects, and then of course cosmetic outfits for all of the specialists, and the likelihood of you getting a decent gun out of it is slim to nothing. Now every event, they give you the ability to progress through a tier system to unlock weapons, but I wouldn't think of that as a guarantee of weapons, because with their last set of tiers, after you get to tier 50, yes, you get a very powerful semi-automatic sniper rifle, which is super cool. But the other 4 weapons they added aren't in this tier system. They started putting them in reserves, and you can get a weapon bribe, which guarantees you a weapon you don't have, but you don't know what weapon it's going to be. It could be a ballistic knife, it could be a cool assault rifle, you don't get to know, it's RNG. That stands for Random Number Generator. The loot is random. You open up a case and it could have a new sniper rifle in it, or it could have a shitty common face paint that you don't want for your character. So unfortunately, if you were to buy the game right now, you have missed all of the previous events and all the weapons in those tier systems, which would have required you to grind a lot, but at least you would have been guaranteed them if you did. All those weapons are now RNG. I apologize. But there is a cool thing for new players. They have now recently added contracts, and these contracts are challenges. I was going to say fun challenges, but some of them really aren't, but they give you large amounts of XP and reserve crates. Wait, sorry, they give you reserve cases. Crates give you the chance at 3 items, and cases give you 1. Of course, these contracts only give you the cases, so each contract you complete, if it has a little case symbol next to it, that means that you get the chance at a single item, or a single chance at 1 item. You do get these reserve cases while playing, and so through a play session, I was able to complete 3 challenges and get 1 playtime case, and open 4. I got 1 weapon, but that's incredibly lucky. So that's kind of cool, but they did add these contracts that you can complete to get XP in cases, and that is cool. As someone that doesn't really care about the game, and it's been out for like 9 months now, I don't really care. But if you're new, that XP is helpful to get through early levels and early prestiges, and more chances to earn loot is good. You know, overall, even if it's not as optimal as it could be or not as giving as it could be, you will have challenges that you get to complete every week and every day, and that's really fun. I would say that's the best thing they've done for new players. They have added a couple free maps, and most of the maps they've added are just remakes of existing maps with different weather effects or lighting effects. A couple of them I rather like, but they're not technically new, but they did add the map Grind from Black Ops 2, so if you like that map in that game, that is actually in Black Ops 4 for free for everybody. Maybe they'll add more free maps down the line, and you'll have access to them if you don't want to buy the season pass. Maybe. So a couple things to mention. The hardcore mode in this game is not terrible if you don't like the longer time to kill and you're into hardcore modes. Hardcore mode's pretty fun, and it allows you to counter specialist abilities more, but then it also makes a lot of the specialist abilities more lethal. So play it at your own risk, but in my opinion it's just a really easy, meta-less way to play the game, but maybe you can have some fun in that, I hope you do. Then there's the Bare Bones playlist, which gets rid of all of the pre-mentioned specialist abilities and weird pieces of equipment like body armor or faster healing. So the game feels more like a classic Call of Duty game. Nobody's going to gravity slam you or electrocute you and your friends. It's gonna play more like traditional COD with a couple of the weird things that Black Ops 4 has, but really, it just plays like traditional Call of Duty. I will admit that the Bare Bones playlist is the best thing to happen to this game as someone that hates the random, inconsistent bullshit that is the standard playlists. The Bare Bones playlist reminds me of something more along the lines of Black Ops 2. I'm not saying that's what it is, but yeah, there's a mosh pit, and it cycles between a deathmatch mosh pit and an objective mosh pit. Right now it's an objective mosh pit, which I think is like domination and hardpoint, and then later it's going to be team deathmatch and kill confirmed. It bounces between, and the game modes are always populated in Bare Bones because people hate the specialist weapons a lot. I mean, hell, once there was double XP for some of the playlists, but not Bare Bones, but Bare Bones was still super easy to find a match in, meaning people would rather play without the specialist weapons and equipment than double their XP per kill. That should tell you something. There is one more thing to say. There is a heavy imbalance in this game because the longer time to kill is negated by certain weapons. The Auger DMR, the Titan LMG, the Damon SMG, the Rampart Assault Rifle, and now the Vendetta Sniper Rifle absolutely melt people. Even one of my favorite guns in the game, which is the Mozu Revolver, is pretty damn broken. The game has a slightly longer time to kill unless you use these weapons with high caliber 1 and 2 on them, and which of course increases damage to chest and head, and what I'm trying to tell you is that it'll break the meta a bit. And if you want to do well, you should probably use Rampart, Titan, Auger, or Vendetta, or Damon, but of course the Vendetta currently requires you to progress through 50 tiers, which is kind of unheard of for someone like me that barely enjoys the game in the first place, and the Damon you can only get out of supply drops. So yeah, sorry this video is not super well organized, it's just as I go through my bullet points on why I don't like Black Ops 4, they do start to get a bit mixed up. To summarize, there's some incredible imbalances and contradictory gameplay design elements. Microtransactions and post-launch content are some of the worst we've ever seen in Call of Duty, but contracts are great for newer players. They might add more free maps, and it's not the worst way to spend your... it kind of is. You don't get a campaign. If you're not into Battle Royale or Horde modes, then zombies and Blackout aren't really going to excite you. And unless all of your friends have been playing it and you feel left out, I see zero reason to pick up this game. I think you should save your money. I can't even lie. I can't even give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it's one of the worst Call of Duties ever made. And Call of Duty games always frustrate me. There's always something in them that makes me mad, you know? But this is like most of the game makes me mad. It isn't one play style. It's not one thing. It's not one little, oh, why'd they do that? It's just, why did they make it the way that they made it? So if you buy it and you enjoy it, go ahead and tell me you're wrong. If you think it's the best game ever, explain why in the comment section below. But I'm here to tell you, as somebody that has played this game since it came out, it is not a good Call of Duty game. It's barely a good shooter. I do not recommend picking up Black Ops 4. Just don't do it. If you have a friend that owns it though, maybe ask to borrow it, because I doubt your friend that has it is going to be playing it. Most people don't want to play it anymore. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.